Hello and welcome back to another video. Today here again on Gran Turismo 7 to take a very first look at update 1.46, which came out so long ago now that there's been a 1.47 patch since then, which includes a couple of fixes. 2 of the 3 new cars that have been added as part of this update are available at Brand Central. So over in Europe we have the Skoda Vision Gran Turismo car, which is very Vision Gran Turismo-y and costs the usual million credits, so I can't really afford that. And then if we go all the way back and over to Asia, we have the Afeela Sony Honda Mobility, which is essentially the Sony car, which is free. So yes, let's send that to the garage. The third car, a Chevelle SS, would have been available from the Legendary Cars dealership, but I'm looking at this update a couple of weeks after it came out, so due to the unique way this dealership works, it's no longer available. It will eventually be back here, but for now, we can't test that out, which is a shame, because that's probably the car I was most interested in. Anyway, we've got the Sony car. As usual, there's something new in the extra menus section to go with the update. Ferrari 12-cylinder engine collection. So we've got a Daytona, a Testarossa, and a LaFerrari by the look of it. And of course some new Scapes locations. We've got some from San Diego apparently. How many do we have? 19 new photo locations in Scapes. Very nice. Since update 1.46 there has actually been another small update, fixing some issues with cars like the LFA, which I'm not terribly interested in. For now though, back to the Sony car. Immediately obvious is the fact it has a yoke instead of a steering wheel. It seems to have screens in places where they could be cameras, but it's got mirrors as well. So essentially it's Sony's take on an autonomous car, and there's a load of bump fear in game about innovation and driving without a driver, and it all being about the interior and all of this sort of thing. So that funny little thing on the roof is actually a LiDAR like scanner thing. The interesting thing though is here in Gran Turismo they tell you that it's 4-wheel drive, but they don't seem to give a power or weight figure. So I don't know how they've calculated the performance points to be 546.75. I think they must know what horsepower and kilos it is, they're just not telling us. It is, though, to be fair, a prototype, so there might not be exact numbers. They might have had to guess, although Polyphony essentially is Sony, so they should know. Also, I'm not sure what I think about this trend of just having a big picture of your car in the middle of the screen. Like, that's not really a very helpful thing to have on the display. Surely the speedometer... I've also found a problem with sun glare on the screen in a virtual game, so I don't think that's going to work very well in reality. Sorry officer, I couldn't see my speed. The sun was reflecting off the screen. That's why instrument clusters usually have like a top bit over them, surely. There is unfortunately no wide body, which I sort of understand because it's a concept car, but again I sort of don't understand because it was built by Sony, who made the game, so they could do whatever they like with it. We can though change the wheels. What do we want? Yes, look at that. 22-inch wide. Oh, we can't offset them because there's no wide body. Excellent. That looks better than I thought it would, actually. There's no custom parts or racing items, which is a bit of a shame again. What can we do here? We can give it a number plate. I mean, may as well change it to say Gran Turismo on the back, I suppose. But that's kind of it. We can, however, paint it in some very interesting manufacturer colours from other manufacturers, like this roof magenta or strawberry or ruby star. Actually, I tell you what, that Nissan Red is... It is a Japanese car. Let's go with that. I know I haven't really looked at many options, but I think that looks quite good. I think we could do with some black mirrors to match the other black bits. Perfect. What is other? Ooh, it's like the... Wow. Yes. I actually quite like that. And of course, being electric, we can't really do any power upgrades here. But given the game doesn't know how much power it has from standard, I don't know how that would have worked if we were able to do it. But of course, all of these upgrades would only work on an engine. What we can do, though, is give it some tyres, right? We can spend 38,000 credits on some tyres. And can we do any weight reduction? No, because like the power, the game doesn't know how much it weighs. So all we can do is give it tyres, I think. Which is it's slightly disappointing, but to be expected, I suppose. So then, this Sony car isn't the most exciting thing to drive. I kind of get why they added it, of course, being a Sony game. But yeah, overall the update as well is a little bit lackluster. I may have had a different opinion of it if I'd been able to drive the Chevelle. But yeah, this car and Vision Gran Turismo cars, I think it's a cool idea and I like the first few. But they've all ended up being a little bit similar, to be honest. And yeah, this isn't the most exciting thing to drive and doesn't have many options. So the Chevelle probably would have been the most exciting one, but even with that, there's no new track or anything, which is maybe why it took me quite so long to actually come and check out this update. But this game is getting on for, well, I don't know, it's quite old now, so it's not going to be around that much longer before the next one comes out, I suppose, so it does kind of make sense that the updates are getting smaller. That, though, is going to be all for today's video, taking a very first look at update 1.46, patch 1.47, and one of the 3 cars that came with that first update. As ever, do let me know your thoughts on the latest update and patch here on Gran Turismo, but for today's video, that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next one very soon.